Um, as you go through the tent flap, you hear the crunch as the Archbishop, lighting the tent with the brilliant blue energy, just punches her end of the war table, which appears to have been done several times. There's multiple dents in it and just wood shavings splattering the floor, and the Countess says, "Well, off you go again with that." And she's like, "Listen here, you blood-soaked scourge. I am not about to throw my men carelessly into the jaws of those heretics like you. Their actual value to a forgiven life. Do you understand that? Value." They don't appear to be acknowledging you. Moats, you watch the Countess speak, but you hear like two things at once and somehow comprehend them both at once. In response to the Archbishop, she says, "Well, I have to admit, they've got less numbers and haven't gotten a lot more done than us in this time. So I'd hesitate to see what more they're worth. Some of my expectations is bodies are worth the same," which continues to enrage the Archbishop. But Moats, in your head, you hear, "Just one moment. This one's really going to piss her off, and then we're going to have to take a minute to get to you."
I continue to wait.
She says that without speaking. She doesn't turn to you or acknowledge you in the present, but you just hear that.
Sure. Yeah, I will maintain my forward-facing gaze.
And the Archbishop roars and draws her ornate mace and absolutely demolishes her half of the table with it. Says, "Oh, I do not believe you. I do not believe the gall on you, Scourge. You are nothing but a beast underneath that mask. And you deign to tell me that the precious blood of a northerner is worth that..." Spits at the floor. "Worth the dirt coursing through the veins of any of your bloodsuckers? Say that again. Meet my challenge this time, I dare you." Do you continue to wait?
I think Kane may have disconnected briefly.
Oh.
Because he whipped out of here.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I still see him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not speaking.
This happened last time, though, too.
I still see him sometimes, too.
Declan, you have to let him go. The accident was years ago.
I can't.
He's gone. Declan.
No!
I'll play Kane.
Ooh.
Alright.
Oh, thank God. I love that Kane's character has a cane. I get happy every time he says it.
Yeah, that must light up all your synapses.
It really does. I desperately need that serotonin.
Well, I guess it's time for this.
Here he is. Here he comes.
You hear the treads of Soldier 226 as he barrels through the tent.
Okay, here he is.
Blows up the
Finally, I get to play him again.
Archbishop.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really discuss that with you.
Yeah.
The elaborate game was that Sean made art for like Sir Ostrich, like he made like unique art, and then like it was all meant to like distract us from the fact that 226 is
His
back.
visor opens up and
It's an eyeball.
it's just a smaller version, and we zoom in.
I'm texting Kane.
I'm back now.
Okay.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Ignore that text.
Yep. Okay. So did she say what she wanted to the Archbishop?
No, it's still in
Okay.
The Countess's court.
Gotcha. Huh.
Nice.
Pun.
She doesn't flinch back. She just kind of lifts a hand and points it open-palmed demurely toward the entrance, and she says, "Oh, careful. We got one of Daddy's own watching us. Tribune on tribune crime is pretty illegal, unless it's in self-defense." She's gesturing to you.
Yeah, I will step forward, and I'm going to keep my muse out now. Throughout whatever's going on now.
The Archbishop turns and the mace starts to lower, and she says, "What is this?"
I have come to finish what the first prefect couldn't. And I have found you squabbling.
You see the prefect over in the well, you see his flame, very dim. It sort of matches Arya's when you first met her. He's wrapped up in a blanket and appears to be sleeping through this.
Please don't get up, I say towards him.
I assure you he does not.
That's fine. I'm gonna start moving forward.
Everyone else gets wrapped like a pluses show up above our heads like nice sweet burn.
The Archbishop says, looking you over, she says, "What have they sent a boy for that a prefect of war could not accomplish?"
Alright, get back here.
I am the prefect of Polis. War I thought you could understand, but people seem to be difficult for both of you. I'm here to make that easy.
Seeing Canary, she says, "You've at least made one part of my life easier, delivering a useful soldier to the valley, perhaps the first we've seen." She points her gaze to the Countess at that.
Canary will dip her head in a show of respect.
And we have found a rebel of our own, kept out in your forts. She seems to have known something. She was going to be led to death, but here she is. I'm sure she'll make herself useful.
She says, "As far as I see it, you've brought all of one useful person into my tent." And the Countess says, "As far as I see it, we're still at 0.
Have I ever seen the Countess again since Tears?
No.
Can I
She looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Can I say, it is always a pleasure, Countess.
I'm sure it is.
The snake kind of spits some flame,
Yeah.
indicating that both of them are lying.
Oh, yeah. Moats,
No one is telling the truth.
when the snake is out in particular, it's like you have to see despite this, but it's like standing next to a volcano with the Countess at your right.
Sure.
It's just roiling. You can kind of see the silhouette of the person in there, but they're so enwreathed in like Dragon Ball Z levels of the energy.
I almost like the idea that it's like a black hole, like
Yeah.
where it's like you look
The
into it and
negative.
there's something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. All right. And he will just disregard all of that and say, "And yet you continue to bicker. So please allow me to make this easy on all of us." And I'm going to reach into my bag, take but a moment.
As you do that, I'm going to interrupt myself because you're doing it, but the Countess says,
Yeah.
"Oh, feel free to any time," and then witnesses what you're withdrawing.
And as I do
Done.
so, I take a cylindrical tube of a well-crafted make and unscrew the and unfurl a piece of paper in my hands. And after a moment of passing my hands over them, I start to read aloud in a tongue that's been long dead.
She interrupts herself and says, "Wait, no!" And the Archbishop says, "Wait, what is this?"
Oh god, wait.
And as
It's an edict, it
It's
sounds
an
like.
edict?
as the Countess approaches you, her hand is stopped by like a field as the magic of the edict casts around you. And
Did I know about this?
Nope.
Kadera immediately withdraws a bit. It's similar to the reaction of the Archbishop. She kind of drags you a little bit with her, Arya. She says, "What is the meaning of this?"
Moats is just deep in the incantation, which even she's like digging her fingers in, but there's some sort of like pearlescent barrier driving even her fingers back. She says, "No, no!" What exactly do you hope to understand?
That was just to discern if not that I know the edict, but if I know that he's like, this is how they're administered.
Yes. It's enough in the history books where you understood probably pretty quickly, especially judging by everyone's reactions. And as he speaks the incantation, just it's imperceptible by the eyes, but as he says the last syllable, you feel this invisible like a rainfall of weight falling upon you. It goes through your skin and your bones down to your core, and falls upon you like a veil. And the Edict of Servitude is cast over you, and though it makes no physical difference, you sort of feel it like a lump in one of your heart valves. And as it fades, as the protection of casting the edict falls, the Countess's hand latches onto your throat, and she says, "What did you do?"
The
Can I
Edict of
actually-
Service is... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I actually briefly drop Zarya, kind of as she's kind of gripping at her own like chest area?
For the third time, you feel your hair stand on end as the unmistakable magic of the edict falls upon you for the third time in your life.
It keeps happening. Almost staggered a little bit. She's kind of like roiling in some sort of mix of emotions as she like grinds her teeth and like grips at her chest plate a little bit, trying to steady herself.
Moats' blind eyes will turn towards the Countess, her hand around his throat. He will match her up, or he imagines them to be. Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. As he does so, yeah, probably past a clenched throat, he will say, "The Edict of Servitude has been delivered. The veil of execution is soon to follow. In 7 days, every soul left in this valley, rebel and loyalist alike, will be dead. We will begin our deliberations."
You. And at that, you hear the sort of clinking of fatigues as Geralt turns over in the corner and he says, "Tribune, while I understand you could easily sever that man's head, understand that if 2 prefects die in your valley, the law will come down upon your head. That's if the execution doesn't get to you first. Well met, prefect." And he'll nod to you, looking very sickly.
Just kind of not... God, he did just offend me. Hold on a
You
second.
can ignore him.
No, he's a
gonna
prefect.
do him like
I'm
that?
not gonna do that. No.
Tell
I
him to
won't.
sit down.
Yeah. And to you, it's good to see that not everyone in this tent is immune to logic. I'm sure you will listen.
He says, "I'm understanding the strife you're about to go through very well." This whole time still holding your throat, the Countess, you feel her grip start to tighten like she wants to, but then just rips her hand away, probably leaving claw marks on your neck. And she strides back to her corner, fists clenched. The Archbishop is on a knee praying.
As Moats kind of like, I don't know, passes his hands over his throat, he looks at each of them and says, "We will convene in an hour's time. Collect your generals and advisors, prepare your arguments, and be ready to defend them. You have spent long enough debating. Expect the plans to be convincing." I'm going to start walking out this way.
The Archbishop will look expectantly to Canera as one of her generals.
Canera is finally sort of coming down on whatever adrenaline high just like smashed into her, having expected something cataclysmic to happen. She'll kind of run her long fingers through her slicked back hair, and she'll grab Arya again by the rope hoist.
If you want
Ow.
like a narrative... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna see if I knew exactly what the Archbishop was trying to say by looking at me, but that is not a good empathy roll.
Yeah, you know, she called upon you.
Does she want to speak to me?
She probably expects you to just be in there, like, as one of hers.
Oh, God.
This is awkward.
But I was also employed by the law. I feel like I have more duty than Archbishop.
It's a personal choice at this point. Your station appears to be assigned as the prefect's guide.
Kinera will regard the Archbishop. Is there like a good way to regard the Archbishop as someone who is serving? Is there a way to like
Just with a bowed
denounce
head.
respect?
Armpit farts.
She'll bow her head and say, "It is best that a competent head keep tabs on him."
There'll be sort of a stern silence, and with pursed lips, she'll nod you out.
She'll nod her head and she'll kind of yank Arya with her as she goes to follow Moats.
Okay. I'm going to move towards whatever fire is available on the Forgiven side.
Mm-hmm.
Taking very careful measure not to dirty my garment. I'm just kind of like laying myself down nicely amongst it.
You sit in a big mud pie.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Looks like I shit myself.
Right across the
After-
camp's like, hey, guy looks like he pooped himself.
Some Forgiven soldier's like, praise it be, the man shit himself.
My meeting's in an hour.
Does anyone have any
Oh,
spare
no.
pants? I just have this pair that says juicy on the ass.
Oh, it is true.
I imagine that Kinera didn't like follow immediately behind Moats. There was kind of a pause as she had to like collect herself, so she probably emerges with Arya from the tent, maybe like a minute and a half after.
Moats has returned his muse towards its cane form and is just pressing himself, eventually settling down.
Kinera will just sigh through her nose. And
Oop. It's the genie from Aladdin.
He's gotten a real,
Got
a
a
real
titty
icon.
out. Oh, okay. That's the general we've been talking to?
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it.
Oh, cool.
I'll wait for Kinera to join me if she wishes to.
she will. Reluctantly, she'll bring Arya over, and she's going to then reach down, untie her hands, which have been bound a little bit too tight this whole time, and
They're purple.
Yeah.
she'll say, "You've got 10 minutes."
She's already started eating. Like,
Yeah.
immediately as soon as her hands are free. She's, like, gracelessly just shoveling it, kind of gasping between bites.
Carleton will approach.
Please no.
Sort of holding his midsection, he says, "Prefect, what did you do in there, and why does my stomach feel like a busted gasket now?"
An edict has been delivered.
Say that again?
The Edict of Service. I spent too long in this valley, and the Overseer has grown impatient. There will be an end to this, one way or the other.
His mouth is just agape, but he says, "An edict is the manifestation of the divine will. I will meditate upon this and find my peace." He walks off, really shaken.
Then I will turn my way towards Kinera. I don't know if she's gonna say anything first. Otherwise,
She's
I will.
doing that thing where she's standing and she's like a little bit silhouetted and she's got her arms folded and she's like looming and there's like kanji symbols are like above her head. She'll say, "I've never known an edict to be so soft-spoken," she'll say.
Declan, do I know everything I did announce that everyone will be dead in 7 days.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
She means that. She means
She
up
means
front.
it didn't explode
Up
right
front.
away.
It wasn't immediately explosive.
Okay, he will return that and say, as Exosa's grace, that that they would allow you the time to come together, to form an understanding rather than kill you outright.
Because
Arya will speak,
yeah.
No.
and yep. She tries, but no sound comes out. And she grasps at her throat, realizing the edict has silenced her.
You
for the rest
see,
of
you see, like old CRT TV volume control going steadily down in front of her.
she'll say as she kind of finishes like her last bite, she'll say, "So what happens when the agreement is reached? Does everybody still die?"
Not if we are successful.
Uh-oh. And the wording of it is that Exosa's forces must claim the border spire.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you wish to live. That much I can say is certain. I look over at Dave's.
The Chimera.
Yeah.
Kanera.
at me standing
Who,
there.
are you
living?
talking to me? Kanera will speak up almost over Arya and say, which puts you in something of a bind, young lady. Says, for you are under the same oath that we all share now. It is your burden to carry as well.
She says, "Yeah, I was in the tent. I heard when he said that." And she'll like disregard Canera entirely and look back to Moats and say,
I'm gonna speak over her before she says anything.
"Cool, good. I like it.
Hey,
Like
This
it.
group's great." They just interrupt each other.
Everyone's playing rock, paper, scissors at the same
Fucking
time.
Fox News in here.
Wolf Slitzer.
I'm gonna provoke towards you and say, then you have heard your salvation.
You start crying?
I don't understand what he's trying to do.
I'm trying to, and then I will follow it up and say, then you should share what you know. You have only started, I am sure.
Was that to mental stress or just to get me to talk?
Get you to talk. I'm not trying to hurt you anymore.
Okay.
Not yet.
Gotcha.
Not yet. I am.
She'll say, "I thought I made it clear back on the platform that yes, I want to live." She says, "I've told you about all I know. I'll come to you when you get me to the spire and I can read what's written there."
Do you know this? Sorry, what was her name? It was Edra Byrne. Derp.
Burp.
Yep.
Edra Byrne?
Have you met Edra Dern? Ever Byrne? Flip flop, flip flop.
Ever bird.
Flip flop.
Arya looks directly into the camera and says, "Declan, have I met Edra Byrne?"
Yeah, you were traveling with her.
Yeah, I was there with her, yeah. Did I know her before that?
Roll your contacts. Okay, yeah.
She's my best friend.
She gosh, I'd say that was your first time meeting her, but you have heard all about her. She
Sure.
is the way of the future. She is the salvation of the rebellion. She is untouchable. She knows something everyone else doesn't.
Okay. She'll say, "She's got a considerable banner on her back." She says, "I only just met her. When were we captured? Earlier today?
A couple days ago.
A couple days ago." She'll say, "I met her a handful of days ago, but everybody knows about her." She goes on to convey those things that Declan said, but she's like, the shit.
The leader of the rebellion. Where we are heading.
The idea you get is not leader. They have a
Okay.
leader. You know who that is. This is just a very good soldier.
An influencer.
A mouthpiece.
An Instagram influencer.
Okay, then I'll call it a mouthpiece of the rebellion. Our overseer is fortuitous.
Now it's been 3. It is Overlord.
Overlord. Yep. It is someone that we shall find.
In the silence, you hear That's all really interesting. And you are alarmed to look over and see this man crouched next to you all unnoticed.
Ooh.
His elbows resting on his knees. And when you who can see look over, he is still standing over here
Oh, yikes.
amongst the other courtiers. And it doesn't go away when you double check. It's just standing there. You just sort of notice how still that figure is.
Hmm. Do we know who this is?
Roll contacts. This is the finger.
Ah!
What? Really? Interesting.
He's got a brand new bag. And
Huh.
I mean, it's kind of up to hearsay. He's still got the title. It might be the same person. You could roll an empathy to even begin to check if it's the same that you were in a party with 30 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have plenty of reason to not really be
Yeah,
able to tell.
He's gonna be a billion above you. The
Yeah.
thing is just unquantifiable. They incline their head the other way and say, "You've got quite a interesting item in your possession there." And he's gonna nod his pointy chin at Arya. Know how to do the old walls talk. It's quite something.
She'll look back and she'll say, "Oh, it's nothing."
It's forbidden.
It's gonna be as she finishes nothing, he's gonna latch onto your arm way too roughly and shake you and say, "Oh, it's something. I got someone else to come speak to down in the Forgiven camp. Gave him an hour, right?"
She'll be staying here. If you have someone who must speak to her, you will bring them.
No, she'll be coming with me. You can join me if you want, Prefect.
I will look over at Canera.
Yeah, Kanara's already withdrawing her weapon. And she says, boy.
If you just... Yeah, otherwise I can follow it up. Oh, you're provoking. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, good stuff.
Fucking mean crew over here, mean Gene. And...
Yeah, everyone's mean. She'll say, I would hate to strike you down before the edict does itself.
He stops. He's given pause. And he says, "I got pause now. Like a kitty cat."
I mean,
That
Shot on the
honestly
way
is,
back in.
that's honestly in character. The voice is so good.
That's a bummer.
Canara's provoke roll was not successful.
No.
No, it was. He's given pause.
Even part of that just being Canara's, who she is, the Saint of the Storm. She's got something of a reputation.
He says, "Now, being straightforward, I'm being polite by offering you all the invitation, because if I want, I could just..." And like that, the two of them are on the other side of you. He says, "I could do this, but a couple 100 meters down the way and be introducing who I need, but I figured you're in the valley for a reason, so I thought I'd invite you along. Now I'll get her back to you in one piece. Someone's gonna want to know about this."
I'm gonna do empathy and see if I think this guy's gonna hurt them.
You wouldn't have a fucking clue. All you see is, well, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
He burns very brightly, much like the Countess, second only to her.
He offered to bring us along.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. I'm gonna stand up at this point. He's making such a fuss about it.
Won't give us any other choice.
No, and I don't want to start a conflict before fucking delegating.
There, see? Don't need no trouble. But come on, there's this guy. He's been collecting this stuff. Need someone who can actually translate. He's gonna start yanking Arya along by the arm, really, as if she is like a rag doll, just no respect toward her.
That's all she's been today.
Yeah, she's used to this by now.
And as you approach, like the finger does not move, but as you approach, it sort of dilates and stretches out much. You know those sidewalk chalk illusions that look 3D, but then you turn and they're just really spread out. It just starts to look like that as you go around it, and then sort of go translucent and dissipate once you've walked in an arc around it.
Illusionist. Interesting.
And it resumes the same position once you're out the other side, on kind of like the other side of this like 2D texture.
I like that this guy's clearly having an engaging conversation with it regardless.
There is a man he's just been talking for an hour, and he's like, I told her, hey, you want to go work at the meat farm? No problem. I'll support you in that. But I can't maintain a long distance relationship, you know? Locomotive's too expensive. I gotta sow my wild oats, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, man? And he goes to slap the illusion.
He just whiffs right through. You know what I'm saying.
Which he also ignores and continues talking. He's like, you know what I'm talking about. And so, you're not quite here yet. Well, you guys get your icons out.
Yep.
Top left.
Yes. He says, yeah, so as I was saying, there's this guy, Garen. He's been scouring what he can of the old walls text, because, you know, they're obviously doing something going on in there. He's been researching it with his lady. And he's gonna want to hear about some of this, you understand? So, I figured this one jostles Arya irreverently again.
She's just scuffing her feet, trying to keep pace as he pulls her around.
I buy that a well-traveled shaman like her knows something about it, especially if you believe her.
She's been proven that. She's proven that she can speak some honest words. They must be pulled from her.
Oh, we'll pull them if we need to. I'm best for that, I assure you that, Prefect. In fact, I'd known they were up at that camp, I'd have just stolen away myself and done what the old finger does. You know, he roots around. He gets in there.
Oh my god. We're not... He's the bad guy.
As he's walking and talking about this, you really notice the jingling of the many hooks just laden about his person, clanking against each other and not at all covered or safetied.
I concede. I'm done.
He keeps whipping his body around, turning at the center, and they just keep going everywhere, and you gotta dodge the hooks. Although also, he is dressed like a sort of twisted jester, so he does have bells at the ends of these sort of tendrils on his hat.
That's new.
Trying to think of what body part could be used to create that facsimile. It's not great.
And eventually he makes his way up to the gate, and similar, they have guards posted here, except actually one is missing. He's going to go up and turn to the other one, which is a bloodsucker who looks mighty physically fit, but, well, fit for them is basically just being not able to restrain your bug form. So he's nice and hardy and a juicy bug, which just sort of means he's not of an incredibly high post. Well, he'd have better control over that.
Sure.
And the finger jingles. He jingers as he looks cartoonishly between the one guy there and the sort of empty spot to the left, and back and forth, tingling, tingling, tingling. He goes. Actually, the courtier speaks up first, says, "Can I help you?" "Where's the other guy? Where's Garen?" "He was at post right now." And as he's talking and appears to be gesticulating, he is gesticulating with Arya, so shaking, again, just shaking the doll as though she were his hands. "Oh, yeah. Garen. See, boss, he had some to, drink." "Yeah, we all do. What of it?" "Well, yeah, it's just, The lady's executioner got word of it? Fuck me. And he's gonna start running you, Arya, into camp along with him. And
Oh my.
you see the bloodsuckers all gathered, cheering in a circle around this display. A man stands over another man, some sort of contraption he's holding locked around his neck. This courtier who appears to be your Garen. Garen is grasping at the device and pleading, "No, please! Everyone does it! You gotta understand! Call him off!" And Sean, describe what we see standing above Garen.
So Ostrich is holding this
He's gonna be in chat.
Yeah.
Hey.
sword to his.
Oh, cool.
Guillotine.
It's a guillotine. Nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's a guillotine.
he's speaking the words, "For lack of vigilance, for defiance of one's orders, for a grave crime against the court,
No!
I hereby sentence you to die."
You do not! Everyone does it! You kill everyone in this case, you do me! Fucking head chops and goes
man.
rolling off and knocks against the fire pit in the center, and from all around, whoa, yeah! Oh, wow! People clapping and cheering.
Ostrich will kneel down and pick up Garen's head by the hair and raise it upward. "Do not be so mirthful. This is a lesson to you all." And then he tosses it into some rubble.
The mood dies a little quickly, and the finger comes running up with his guest in tow. He looks down and back up, and he really cartoonishly gesticulates. Says, "What the fuck you do that for?"
Ostrich will look at this finger, and his guillotine sword still stuck into the ground like a guillotine. He'll yank it out and then strap it back to his back, which is it's almost as tall as he is, pretty much. And he'll really take his time crossing his arms as he just stares like a statue with the finger. "He was defiant."
What? He looks kind of back and forth, jingle. What'd he do? What's he defiant about?
"He was at his post,
Mm-hmm.
true, but he lost himself."
Wait, is that what he talked? Was he drinking? Is that it?
"Yes."
You can't, son. Yeah, it's in the rules, okay? Everyone does it. I mean, He kind of hesitates, though. Just...
And he kind of leans forward a bit.
Just... Elizabeth! Elizabeth, get your ass out here! At which a tent flaps open, and another bloodsucker emerges, looking quite pristine in her person, and says, "Oh, what noise are you making?" "Your pet zombie just executed the guy working on the Old Wall script. I brought this person here for this." And he shakes Arya once again, the only way he knows how to gesture to her. And Elizabeth looks at the ground from Garen to Ostrich. She says, "Well, I suspect he was committing dereliction of duty." She looks to Ostrich for that.
"Yes, my lady, he was blood drunk while supposedly on guard duty."
Well, you have to admit that's against the codes. He was doing all the I'm doing all the research. Just, who's that? She's someone who knows? Give her to me. I'm the only one doing any work in this goddamn tent anyway.
I am going to step forward in front of this woman and say, "I am Prefect Motes, and this woman is under our protection. You are to do no harm to her."
Why would I do any harm to a potential research assistant? I'm sorry, my manners.
And I look to the left, where the person has just been decapitated.
Well, he was breaking the rules. My executioner, he's... Well, I mean, he's a lot like yourself, Prefect.
I just, again, kind of look at the body, and then refer to her and say, I'm sure you'll enlighten me.
She's gonna look over it and say, well, I feel like that speaks for itself. I mean, you're a prefect. You never ruled in someone or against someone's favor and then they lie there headless? Tell me honestly, you ain't done that?
They usually burn.
Ah, well, tomato, potato. Just sort of stomping back and forth. He's released Arya. Stomping back and forth and looking over Garen. The finger
Chimera's taken Arya, like,
Oh,
kind of
God.
like a mother.
Shoulders long enough to get scooped back up by somebody else.
she's
Alright, the
Sorry.
finger reaches up, grabs at the item on his head, his sort of jester's hat, pulls it off and throws it at the ground with a tingle jingle, and then you see that it's still there on his head and that there's nothing on the ground. And he just...
Very good.
Alright, you give me a progress report ASAP. I'm gonna get this guy on the barbecue so we at least got something to eat this evening. And unceremoniously, he's gonna scoop the body up and just start walking away with it.
Fuck the South.
People start dispersing. And she says, I'm sorry, my manners are completely absent. Prefect, my name is Baroness Elizabeth Crookshire of the Quagmire Crookshires. And she offers a dainty hand.
I kind of reach out. I don't know where her hand is exactly. Just kind of like place it towards where the voice
Slap
is
her
and
hand.
search in the air.
Unlike any other courtier would do to you, she finds your hand for you and embraces a firm handshake.
He does so and returns his hand to the cane and looks behind him and says, This is Saint Canaro White.
Mm-hmm.
And then I refer to the woman we've been carrying for a while and say, I do not know her name.
Oh. What's your name, dear?
She'll she'll pipe up, kind of pulling away from Canera, and she'll say, "My name is Arya Sarosong."
Dramatic.
Is that allowed?
I love that.
She says, oh, like Luther. He was Grand Shaman once.
She says, "Richter."
Oh. My history books. She shakes her head and actively makes a mental note.
She'll yeah, she doesn't actually. I have to be Arya, not Dave. Like, she's like, "No, you're close. It's not."
Well then, right this way. She's going to lead you inside her personal tent.
That's great.
And she's already laying there, blouse open.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
Am I right?
Ostrich, close the door. The flap.
My lady.
Beautifully back to the opening of the tent.
I forgot to add the fedora to Ostrix.
But hey,
It's an equipable item.
yeah,
You
How
buy
many
it like
bitcoins is it? Yeah.
it looks good.
You pay for it with Exosa rings. That's the in-game currency.
but you pay for it with real money.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that are
That's
keys,
the
which you
yeah,
buy
yeah.
with real
Yeah.
money.
Flibbity flabs that you can exchange for zing
You purchase
dinklers.
enough snorkels, you can exchange them for bingles.
Ask your mom.
We're not. Just get her credit card.
She's fine. She said it was okay.
Ask your mothers and fathers for logging on. So it's a quaint little candlelit fair. There's sort of an organized corner surrounded by papers where it looks like Elizabeth has taken up And then just sort of a messier corner where probably Garen stayed and drank and didn't do any work. And she sits down and offers a seat for everyone around a sort of center table.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
Canaro will remain standing.
Ostrich will wait outside the tent.
She basically directly regards Arya and says, so, is it true? You're a bit of a translator?
She says, I'm not the best around, but I can read them, yes.
Well, I at least hope you're better than me. Because, I mean, there's no schooling for this sort of thing, and it's illegal to go inside a spire, so what I've collected has only been curios, bits and bobs.
Arya almost too eagerly starts moving her hands for what's on the table, and then she'll kind of remember the situation she's in, and eyes glancing up, she'll say, "May I?"
Yes, let me give a little. And she kind of organizes them and says, some of this is just fluff or completely intranslatable, but more particularly, I was assigned with the task of finding things relevant to what we're doing here. Countess figures, if we can figure out the old walls, just get the gates open, because they're, locked by old walls means, which nobody knows how to get through. Rebels were only able to get in because they were able to climb the things and transport all the materials in. But other than that, it's locked, and there's nothing we can do to get in without getting gunned down on the way in. So it's a stalemate. So, what I thought I'd do is look into how to unlock the thing. So this, she'll slide a brown leather-bound book over. She says, it's just sort of documenting the geography and the minerals of the border. There are particular ones that it points to, but it's a kind of broad range, and I can't suss out most of the language to even know what they are. This one, she slides over a thin hardcover. She opens it, and you just see like dozens of runes and descriptions of their components, like the sort of individual strokes that go into composing the rune. Now I've dog-eared this. I think this part is relevant to the local area, but it's about a dozen runes, and there's no way all those are necessary. Because, they scratched them all off, but runes are how you open the gate. I'm not sure how. You must have to apply them to some focus, but the old wall's gates are locked by runes, I know that. And then a third book, a firm green atlas, is slid over. She says, and this is a sort of atlas of every old wall and spire in the land. I demarcated the focus, once again, relevant only to us. There are 2 old walls here in the valley, but one of them fell a while ago. The only one remaining is the border spire. The other, we don't know the name of anymore. I can't translate it, but it's in ruins now. Don't know what happened to Fella Spire, but now it's just known as the Spire Ruins. She says, you can ask that out loud, Kane.
Yeah, if you want me to. Like, do you want to give me a quick yes or no so I don't make an idiot out of myself?
Yeah.
So it is.
Yes.
Why didn't you destroy these?
She'll just look up and raise her eyebrows.
Is it ignorance?
Begging your pardon, Prefect.
I thought you intelligent, wise, something, but possessing artifacts of the old wall, you surely know that is illegal. Punishable by death, even. And yet you show them to me, so either you are brazen or you are ignorant. Which one is it?
I would say a little saucy, but neither of those.
Then what would you call it?
Justifiable.
You think because the information is useful that this pardons you?
Well, you have carried an illegal practitioner of wild magic directly into a home base of the Crimson Court. Should we try you, Prefect?
Arya will chime in. It's true, I am very dangerous.
Can I roll a kind of scoff?
She smiles and slaps your ass, Arya. She's like, this is my girl.
No.
Grabs the tip, just grinding her teeth.
Yeah, just cups a boob.
Yes.
I'll look at her and say, "You're right. We should burn them both."
Oh, yikes. I don't like this group.
Well, sir, if you are in favor of losing any form of progress we have made here and withdrawing the stalemate another 2 months, I suppose you can be my guest.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's such an interesting setup. Hold on a sec.
He just starts punching the table.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no matter what, it's, coming to a close in 7 days, so.
Yeah.
It would just be so funny to burn these in front of his character. This is like the one thing that it'd be useful for. Ugh. Everyone here will be held accountable, myself included. But they will remain.
I'm sure the Overlord will be most forgiving when you look out at her from atop the spire.
Do not patronize me. Do your work.
Very well. She'll turn back to Arya, who appears to be the only person she's interested in.
Yeah.
And are Arya's hands still bound behind her as a natural state?
I believe she was untied to eat, and I don't know that her
Yeah,
hands were
she hadn't
bound
been
back
retied, so right now she's got her hands.
up. Okay.
She says, it's going to be hard for her to review the information tied up.
You can work together.
Ostrich,
My lady.
untie this woman. This is unsightly.
Ooh.
Yeah, well. He'll approach inside the tent and pull a hold-out knife that he has on his belt and cut the bindings.
Okay.
Now stab it to death.
Cut her slow, Ostrich.
Like slices of ham.
I want her served up like a gyro.
Arya will say, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Who's she saying that to?
You.
Ostrich will say absolutely nothing.
Shut up.
No one's gonna be your friend.
No.
Someone please be my friend.
Anyone.
And Arya, as you have a look over it, let's see. I will paste it to you in Discord.
Okay.
Does anyone else do anything?
Kinera is just watching from where she's standing, kind of keeping that soldier guard over everything that's going on.
I'm gonna allow my muse to manifest and continue to watch Crooksher.